G'day, welcome back to another episode of TOGL. This week we are down here at Agfest again, and we've been quite lucky. It was pouring rain yesterday, and today the sun's out beautifully, so whilst it's very muddy, we have to be careful how we're walking because it's pretty slippery, but at least it looks like we've got a nice day. So yeah, we'll show you around Agfest again. We're looking forward to it this year. We've actually got a couple of purchases we want to make, so that'll be good. But I think the first thing we're going to do, we're going to head to the animals, aren't we, bub?
Okay.
Head to the animals first.
Well, Tank World was just...
We'll go to Tank World and then we'll go and look at the animals.
Going around for hours trotting and panting endlessly is not a good welfare outcome for the horse. It makes them sore and stiff. So what she's doing, if you look at the hind legs, they're really swinging under the horse's body. He's quite happy to stretch his back and look like the Sydney Harbour Bridge rather than a canoe. And again, it is a reward for the horse just to chill for a moment in a nice relaxed way.
I've been speaking with the Smith Fleet Shield the last couple of days. They're really keen. They're not releasing it. See what they can do.
obviously in their unshorn state.
For Agfest for another year. We didn't see the Highland cows we were hoping to see, and saw a couple of little animals, got some ideas on some sheep, bought a few little bits and pieces, got ourselves some lovely wine, and yeah, overall it was a good day. We decided that if Elizabethtown Cafe is open on the way home, we're going to stop in and have a coffee there. Our feet and legs are getting quite sore. We've been walking around for hours. But yeah, another good day out. Always love coming down to Agfest. Well, it is a stunning morning up here this morning. Absolutely beautiful, but very cold. It is now 11 o'clock and there is still frost in the shadows. You want to know how cold it was? Let me show you this. This bucket of water here was sitting in the shade still, and at 11 o'clock I still have a big piece of ice in it. You can still see there's a bit of frost on the ground here. So yeah, it is still cold, but out here in the sun, absolutely wonderful. Anyway, I got a few things to get done today. Agfest was good yesterday. We didn't get everything that we wanted to, but we did get some very good information, and it's always enjoyable down there. So today what I've got to get done is I want to get the posts concreted in that I dropped last week for the fence. We'll get that done, clean up a bit up there. I've got a little bit of planting to do. So yeah, just a lot of general work up here. I also want to move the piles of dirt and the remainder of the gravel out of the area that will be the yard. We want the grass nice in there so that the dogs don't have anything dirty to roll in. So I've got to get that sorted out too. But I've got a stunning day for it today, so I'm looking forward to getting into it. Let's see how we do. So first thing we're doing is planting some of these plants. Now these are just a flowering plant, they're not an edible, but they're designed more just to provide food for the bees and attract the bees into the veggie garden area. I also need to try and get these passion fruit vines covered up with some plastic. I've probably missed the mark on that. Closed the gate after the horses bolted, as they say, because the frost that we had last night, I'm thinking may have actually killed them off. Even though they look nice and green, it'll take a few days before the evidence of that shows. But yeah, I should have done that last week, didn't get around to it. So yeah, we'll get some plastic covering over those passion fruits because frost will kill them. So yeah, I'm just going to get these planted. So I'll just dig a hole, get these in, and if I can find a picture of what these flowers look like, it'll be on your screen there right now, and if not, well, we'll just have to wait until they flower and then I'll show them to you. One down, 3 to go. Well, just having a bit of a look around the veggie patch to see the effects of that frost. Yeah, it smashed a lot of the summer stuff. So as you can see here, the beans are starting to look a bit droopy. Thankfully we've harvested most of those anyway, but yeah, you can definitely see the effect it's had on these. These leaves are just really soft because they've been frozen by that frost last night. And same with some of our saffron. The plants themselves are okay, but the flowers are very delicate. So if you don't get them on the day, then they're gone. But that's okay, that was an experiment, and we'll get a lot more out of them next year. Tomatoes, zucchinis, yeah, absolutely smashed. So these are a fairly fleshy plant. They do not do well with getting frost on them, being frozen. So I'll have to pick that this last one, and then that'll have to get eaten. Even the capsicums and the chilies, same deal. They're a fairly soft, fleshy type plant. They do not handle the frost very well at all. Tomatoes being smashed down. The peas, maybe. They might go all right, I'm not sure about them. Rhubarb's still fine, it can handle the frost. And then we've got all of our brassicas, which is like broccolis and Brussels sprouts. And the Brussels sprouts, they're coming along. You can see the Brussels sprouts there. They don't tend to be affected by the frost very much at all. The onions, they're doing okay, and our leeks. But then you come over here to the pumpkin plant, which is of the same sort of genre as the zucchinis and those sorts of things, and yeah, again, smashed. There'll be no pumpkins coming off that. Next year we will not plant the pumpkin in under the corn. We think that's why it didn't do very well at all, and we'll probably need to plant it a bit earlier. The other week when Kay and I were up here, we did plant a lot more onions, so these are all new onions again, ready for a winter crop of onions. And our silver beet and beetroots are still doing okay. Kay's got dahlias along here, and again you can see these should be a nice vibrant green. That dull colour is because they've all been frozen, so they're pretty much done as well. So yeah, the frost has done its damage as to what it needed to do, I guess. So we'll just pull out those plants later on, and then we'll get started on doing our winter crops. But right now I need to get some plastic over those passion fruits, which I won't bother showing. And then we're going to head up. I need to start getting some concrete mixed. I've got to get concrete around those 4 posts. That's the next job at hand. All right, before cementing these in, I need to get them nice and straight and upright. So what I'll be doing is, I've got some spikes. I'll put one in here, and I'll put the other one over there. I'll run 2 posts up to it that I can screw on just to hold it so that it's dead vertical. So we'll get them in and get started on getting this one square. Okay. What I'll be doing is I'll screw this one off first. And then the other one. So now, as I get post upright, I can screw it off onto the ones that I've already got attached to the ground. Bit tricky doing it just one person, but we will get there. Okay, so that's pretty damn close. Noting that it is a fence post, and the post isn't dead straight either. It's got a bit of a wave in it, so trying to actually get the spirit level on there on a dead straight piece, but it got it pretty close, and then so long as it looks fairly straight by eye, I'm happy. So I just need to go around, get the other 3 done, and then we'll be able to start mixing up some concrete and get it poured in. Well, as you can probably hear, that wind is picking up this afternoon, so apologies for the wind noise. And it's icy. That wind's really quite cool. I will be warming up very fast once I start shoveling all this gravel. Now, I've made a few modifications to the cement mixer too. I took it home last weekend, and what I've actually done is put some larger wheels on, essentially given it a lift. Now, because I've raised the centre of gravity, I've actually extended the axles out. You can see over the back there, I've extended the axles out by about that far on either side. It just gives it a wider base, makes it more stable. Because I've raised the back, I had to weld an extra piece on the front to lift it up. And I've given it a brand new belt in there, given everything a grease, so it's now really, everything's really slick. So it's all moving nice and freely, which is great. So I'll flash this up, get some cement mixed so that I can start pouring some cement around those posts. Once that's done, I want to try and get the timber mill flashed up. I was having an issue with it, it wouldn't start, but when I was down at Agfest yesterday, Jeff from Hardwood Mills Australia was down there. It's great to catch up with him again, and he gave me a few pointers on what might be wrong. There could be a little switch that's failing, so I'm going to bypass that. We'll see if I can get that timber mill to start, because I desperately need to start milling some more timber. First up though, let's get into this. Bloody wind. Oh dear. That damn wind. I don't know how many times it's blown that tripod over. I think I'm going to have to invest in getting a really heavy duty, heavy based tripod, because I can't afford for that to keep blowing over. It's damn lucky that it hasn't damaged the camera yet. I think the main reason is because it always falls onto this beautiful soft grass, but yeah, it's just so bloody windy. Anyway, so I didn't get to film much because I didn't want to set the camera up on the tripod and really couldn't hold the GoPro while I was doing it. But I got all 4 posts concreted in and everything cleaned up, so you can see I got they're all concreted in nicely like that. So there's that one, and then you've got the one over the back there, and you've got that one right down the back, and that one over there. What I need to do now is I've moved most of this sand with the tractor. I'll just shovel up the last of it. I've already picked up the load of dirt that was there and spread what was left out flat, and I'm moving all of that over to the back there, because that way it's outside of the fenced off area. So yeah, I just want to get this area cleaned up a bit. Basically, I want the grass to be able to grow nice. You know, we've got some little white dogs, as you know, the little Westies, and they love getting in the dirt. And then they end up little red Westies. So if we can just get all of this over the next, say, 6 weeks or so, get all the grass really good, and any bare spots, get some grass growing on it. Might be a little hard now that it's getting colder. I don't know how well any seed will sprout. I'm going to spread some seed around anyway. But yeah, I just want to clean it up a much so that they don't get so dirty, and so that we don't get our shoes all dirty walking around either. Anyway, I'll get that done. Then I'm just going to quickly pop down, have a quick look at the mill. I won't show you any of that, but I want to see if I can get the mill done. And then I'll come up tomorrow, I'll remove all the bracing off the posts, and hopefully if I get the mill started today, I will come up and do some milling tomorrow. So stand by. Your guess is as good as mine as to what we're going to see next. Well, an interesting turn of events. It's a pretty cloudy, gloomy day down here on the Burnie waterfront this morning. But last night I received a message stating that we were going to have some Navy visitors. So out the back there, that's HMAS Adelaide and HMAS Brisbane. They've dropped anchor, and there is another warship just over at the wharf fueling up. So I thought I'd pop down and take a quick look at them, given my Navy background. For those of you who don't know, and I know a lot of you do, but I actually am still in the Navy as a reservist. So yeah, I still wear the uniform quite a lot. So it's really cool to see them coming in here to Burnie. Apparently they're going to send a landing barge across from Adelaide with 300 sailors. So they'll be landing on the beach at some point as well. So I might even get some footage of that. Just depends on how long it takes them to get out here. But yeah, we'll get some footage of this. It should be really cool. Great for the locals as well. Well, that was pretty cool seeing the Navy ships come in yesterday. As I just said to you, what's coming up next? Who knows? And I certainly wasn't expecting that. Anyway, back up here at the block today, and I've got milling to do. So I've spent the last few days working out a big cut list of all the framework I'm going to need. I need framework for the solar panels, for the little utilities room, and for the skillion roof that will go onto the demountable home. So I've got a nice big list there of all of the pieces. Kookaburras obviously think my list is a joke. But yeah, I've got a lot of cutting to do. So I've still got some stringy bark here from when I was cutting beams earlier on, a couple of weeks ago. So I'm just going to finish milling that off. Thankfully, one of the pieces I need is the battens, and I was going to make the battens 50 by 50, and ironically these slabs that I've got left over that I didn't need to use are 50. So I'll just be able to cut that into 50mm strips, which will give me those 50 by 50s. I'll take them down to the men's shed, get them all neatened up after that. So yeah, just a day of milling today. So I'll show you a little bit of milling, and then that will probably be close to wrapping up this video. So we'll see how we go. well, it's taken a good chunk of the afternoon to get those battens cut, but I've now got 29 battens cut. I'd like to end up with 40, so I need to still get a few more. Actually, I tell a lie, what did I say, 29? And I've got 4 sitting over there, so 33, so I'm only 7 short. So what I need to do now is get the chainsaw. I'm going to go and cut a couple of logs ready for some of the longer beams that I need to cut. I'll probably just get a log or 2 cut and in here ready to mill. I won't bother milling today. It's starting to get late in the afternoon, so I'll get wrapped up. It's going to take a while to clean up today. A lot of sawdust around. So anyway, yeah, 33, not a bad effort. Plus I milled a heap of timber slabs that are in the back here, along with firewood. They're all my offcuts, but there's all these slabs here. That's all stuff that I milled up for the Bernie men's shed. They had some big pieces they needed made more manageable, so I've done that. So yeah, a little bit of firewood, kindling, and doing those slabs and doing all that. So yeah, big day today. It's been really good. I'll get these last 4 up on the roof, and then we'll go and cut a log. Alright, all this mess behind me, these are the myrtle trees that died. One blew down in the storm, and when the others died we just decided to get them all chopped down so that they didn't fall onto the timber mill, which is just out of the edge of the screen there. This smaller one behind me right here is nice and straight, and I should be able to get a couple of good beams out of that. I need 3 metre lengths, so I'll chop them. Let me just double check again. Always double and triple check before you cut. Well, they say measure twice, cut once. So those beams I want, yeah, 60 by 240 by 3000, which is 3 metres. So I'll cut them at about 3.2, just to give me that little bit extra to trim off. First thing I will do is just neaten off the end so I can make a nice measurement off of that. Hopefully the wind doesn't blow the tripod over again. Fingers crossed it doesn't. We'll get this measured and cut. So over this tripod. Well, that's it for this week's episode. I've got those 2 logs cut. I was going to move them up into the mill, but I thought, nah, I'll just do that not next week, I'll do it on Saturday when I come up. I've got a couple of days of doing some stuff at home, and then I'll be back up here. So I'll get that milled up and yeah, keep working on getting all of the beams and posts and everything else that we need for our little modular home. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, don't keep it to yourself. Tell some friends about it or some family. Get them to go and have a look and see what they think as well. So and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I normally do mention on Facebook, on the TOGL Facebook group, when a new video's out, which is always 3 PM on Friday, if I can get away with it. But if you subscribe, you'll get an email as well. And it also helps you guys when you subscribe, because it helps YouTube decide what sort of video content to show for you as a suggestion. So the things that you subscribe, they'll use that in an algorithm and go, oh, you know, you like the outdoors, or you like off-grid stuff, or fishing, or whatever it might be. So until next Friday, stay safe, take care, have yourself a great weekend. I'll see you back up here on Friday. Cheers.